In the peaceful suburban enclave of Greenfield, Richard Thompson seemed to lead an ideal life. He was a devoted husband, a father to 3 children, and a respected figure within his community. Surrounded by the love of his wife Laura and their 3 kids, Emily, Alex and Lily, Richard appeared to have everything many could only dream of. A man of habits, he found comfort in the rhythm and predictability of his everyday life. Yet beneath this polished exterior, a quiet storm was forming, one that would soon shatter Richard's world entirely. Richard and Laura had met during their college years. Their initial connection blossomed into a deep, passionate love, culminating in marriage shortly after graduation. Over the next few years they welcomed Emily, Alex and finally Lily, completing the family that seemed to reflect their shared dreams of happiness and stability. The Thompsons were regarded by friends and neighbors as the very picture of domestic bliss. But cracks began to appear in this perfect facade. Richard started noticing subtle but unsettling changes in Laura's behavior. Once attentive and affectionate, she grew distant and distracted, often preoccupied with her phone. Late nights at work became increasingly frequent, and she seemed to guard her personal space with unusual intensity. Initially trusting, Richard couldn't ignore the nagging feeling that something was wrong. His suspicions hardened when a review of Laura's phone bills revealed repeated late-night calls and messages from an unknown contact. The breaking point came when he accidentally discovered a series of intimate photographs stored in a shared folder on their computer. The images weren't meant for him and the content was deeply shocking. Overwhelmed with hurt and confusion, Richard confronted Laura. Though she initially denied any wrongdoing, she eventually admitted to having an affair. The betrayal cut him to the core, shaking the foundation of his marriage and his sense of family. But the emotional devastation soon deepened into an agonizing doubt. Were the children he had raised truly his own? Driven by the need for clarity, Richard made the heart-wrenching decision to arrange DNA tests for Emily, Alex, and Lily. The results that came back were catastrophic. None of them were biologically his. The children he had nurtured, loved, and called his own were, in truth, fathered by another man. The revelation left Richard reeling, the joy and pride of fatherhood replaced by shock and grief. The aftermath of the discovery brought not only emotional pain but also complex legal and financial implications. Feeling betrayed and determined to hold Laura accountable, Richard filed a lawsuit for paternity fraud. His aim was not just compensation for the costs, emotional and financial, of raising children who were not his own, but also justice for the deceit that had dismantled his life. The ensuing court case was grueling and highly public, exposing every intimate detail of Richard's personal life. Laura, once his partner, now faced the consequences of her actions in a courtroom that became the stage for a painful drama of betrayal. The legal process, while taxing, gave Richard an avenue to express his anguish, confront the wrongdoing, and reclaim some measure of dignity. After months of relentless litigation, the court ruled in Richard's favor, awarding him a significant financial settlement. While the verdict offered a form of justice, it could not mend the emotional wounds or restore the family bonds that had been destroyed. In the aftermath, Richard faced the daunting task of reconstructing his life. He sought therapy and leaned on support networks to process the trauma and redefine his identity beyond the betrayal. The children, now confronted with the truth, struggled to navigate the complicated emotions and fractured relationships left in the wake of their mother's actions. Richard's story is one of profound betrayal, resilience, and the pursuit of justice. It demonstrates how deeply trust can be broken and the immense strength required to rebuild a life after personal devastation. While the legal outcome provided closure on one level, the emotional healing was a long, arduous journey, a testament to the courage needed to rise from heartbreak and reclaim one's life.